Hello, Capel English here with Plinker Systems. This is the next in a series of videos where we're talking about the Target Controller software and how it operates with the dual pneumatic movers. So if you saw the first video, then we're going to pick up where we left off. Now notice that we do have over here on the table, we've got 3 target systems, but we're not exactly sure which one is which just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to manually activate these targets, and then we'll be able to rename them so that they make sense. So if I come back over here to the software and I look at target 1A, so the manual activation interval tabs allows us to display either the threat or the non-threat for a specific period of time. If I want to change that interval, I click on it and it brings up a calculator or a keypad where I can just type in what I want, say 2 seconds, and I click enter and it updates it. So now I'm going to click the non-threat button, and we don't have any air pressure turned on, so we're going to cut right here, turn the air pressure on, and we'll be back in just a moment. Now that we turned the air pressure on, let's get back to what we were trying to do. So what we're trying to do is identify the targets. Now, if you look over here on the table, you'll see we've got 3 targets on the table, 3 target systems on the table. And so for the purpose of this tutorial, we're just going to name them targets 1, 2, and 3 starting from the left. So the target on the far left will be 1, the target in the middle will be 2, and the target on the far right will be 3. But at this point, after we discovered the targets, we really don't know which one is which. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the software. We're going to come over here to the manual activation tab where it says intervals. And so the first target in line here says target 3A. So if I click one of these buttons, then it's going to activate either the threat or the non-threat. So I'm going to push the non-threat button. So let's cut over to the target systems. And when I click the non-threat button, we can see that the target on the right-hand side is target number 3. So that's named correctly. So we go back to the administration tab, and I'm just going to update this name to target number 3 and click the update button. Now, for me to really understand how these things work and the fact that I want them to activate in sequence, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reorder this target. So I'm going to click the down arrow button, and notice it moves it to the middle position, and I'm going to click the down arrow button one more time, and now it moves it down here to the bottom. Okay, so we've identified which one is target number 3. So now I'm going to go back to the manual activation tab, and I'm going to click the non-threat button on the target that's currently named target 1A. So when I click that, go over here to the targets, I click the non-threat button, and sure enough, it's the target in the front. So we know we've got the order correct, and if I go back to the administration tab, I can just update these, and by default, we only have 1 target left. I know that they're in the correct order. So we've got target 1, target 2, and target 3. We've named them something that means something to us in this particular situation. So let's go back to the manual activation tab and just kind of finish talking about what this is. Again, if you click in the box here that has the display interval, then I can choose another time frame. So maybe 1 second, and click enter. And then if we look over at the targets, now I click the non-threat of target number 2, and that's the one in the middle. So you can see 1 second is pretty quick. The threat, there's the threat in the back, it comes out, and I can go back and change this back to say 3 seconds. And now when I do the same thing, I click the threat, it comes out, it stays out for 3 seconds, and so on. So that is what intervals are about. It allows you to just individually activate targets for some period of time in seconds. So now let's look at the part-time tab. The part-time tab allows you to activate all of the targets, either the threat targets or the non-threat targets. So if I change my display interval here to say 3 seconds, and I click, it's currently the front or non-threat target is selected, and I click Activate All. Now we cut over to the targets, and when I click the Activate All button, you'll notice that all of the targets activate for 3 seconds. Likewise, if I check the rear/threat and uncheck the front/non-threat, and again I'm going to go, let's go back over to the targets. I click Activate All. Notice that all of the rear targets or all the threat targets activate. So again, this is just another way for you to activate the targets all at the same time with a single mouse click. The last tab under manual activation is what we call overrides or manual overrides. And manual overrides allow you to activate a target for as long as you want. So you, the operator, is in control of when you activate the target and when you reset or deactivate the target. So one thing to be conscious of is when you activate a target, the battery, the solenoid valve that's activating these air cylinders is actually drawing power from the battery. So if you leave that on for too long, you'll kill your battery prematurely, and we don't want that. So there's a timer here. So notice if we go back to the software, so target number 1, if I click the Activate Threat button, then it's going to activate the target, the threat of target number 1. But notice back here on the software that it's saying that there's a countdown of 180 seconds, which is 3 minutes, and you can see that it's going to count down. So in 3 minutes, or from now, 2 minutes and 39 seconds, it's going to reset. And it does that automatically in case you forget to click the reset button, and we just don't want it to kill your battery. So if we go back now and look at the targets, and I click the reset button, it's going to activate, or reset it, sorry. So now, and I can do the same for others. I can activate the non-threat on number 2, the threat on number 3, the threat on number 1, and then I can go back and again I can reset them manually. If I activate both targets, then I can reset them both with one click. So that's it for the manual activation tab. Hopefully you can see that there's lots of different ways that you can control these targets and in different scenarios. Generally, the manual activation tab is most useful for square range type drills where all the targets are lined up next to each other, and there's one student or one shooter in front of each target. But there's lots of different ways that you can use these target systems. So the last tab we're going to talk about is the automatic activation tab, and we'll do that in the next clip. So stay tuned, and we'll see you then. Now, we need you to help us out. Please like, please share, and please subscribe. If you've got questions, leave them in the comments area below. We'll be happy to answer them. If you've got ideas for videos you'd like us to do, then do that as well. Give us a shout. We'll see if we can't make that happen. Thanks for watching.